It is CES 2025, and these are the best smart home devices that I found. Starting off with a decidedly low-tech option. So these are power drops from a company called Neoplants. Now, originally they were offering and still do offer the actual plant itself, but they found out they could also figure out a way to give you similar plant air purifying performance just by adding this powder to your existing plants. So anything other than cacti and succulents, you add this once a month. It's very affordable, and you turn any of your plants into legitimate air purifiers. I'm definitely going to have to be trying this out. So next up is Evenflo, which has their new sensory Soothe technology that they put into this baby car seat. Of course, because Evenflo has a very big ecosystem of stuff, the car seat itself can be attached to this stroller so you can move it around. But the whole technology here is this light bar that's been put into the handle. It has all these different lighting effects so it can move across and flash or whatever your child likes, it's able to do. So there's all these different pulsing and movements. You can change the color, the brightness, the animation, all of these things. There is an app that goes with it. This does have white noise, so you can play music, and the lights can even sync to lullabies that it plays. And my favorite part is this can all be controlled via Siri. So you could be driving your car and then just ask Siri to adjust the lights in the back seat to keep your kid happy. So first alert, Honeywell, Residio, all of these brands, they had a few things they were showing off here at CES, but specifically, I want to look at the X2S Smart Thermostat. What's important here is this is like an $80 smart thermostat. That is a Matter-enabled smart thermostat, so it'll work with Apple Home. I just think that price point is insane. The app looks really nice. It can go with their other things, but seriously, for a smart thermostat with Matter, $80, that's awesome. This is definitely going to be making my best of CES list, but it's the Aurzen Zip. So Aurzen makes these projectors. There's a bunch of them that they already have, but this guy is gotta be the coolest. So it completely folds down into that tiny little pile, like a deck of card size. The top portion of it is where the projector lives. The middle part is where the speakers are, and the bottom one is the battery. In total, from a full charge, you will get about 90 minutes of playtime, so enough for quite a few movies. But the bottom of it is also magnetic, so they have a whole different ecosystem of mounts and attachments that you can use. So put it on a tripod, attach it to the back of your laptop like this. There is even a wirelessly charging battery pack that you can add to it to give you even more charge. So that's a pretty cool attachment as well. So the footage looks really good, and we were in a fairly bright room. This is a CES, so nothing is, dim. It is very well lit with a lot of fake lighting coming in from above, and the screen actually looked great. Now, as far as Apple users go, the best part of all of this is that it works with AirPlay. So you can actually just completely mirror or cast video and audio to this thing directly from any of your Apple products. So iPhone, iPad, Mac, literally just choose it from the menu, cast to this thing. Someone was even mirroring their phone to it right here on the show floor, and we could see it in that vertical orientation, which I thought was really cool. There are controls there on the top, but yeah, this is up for pre-order now, I believe, on Kickstarter. It'll be shipping later this year. So Lutron is out with their new Caseta smart shades. Lutron is known for their shades, but as well as their just rock-solid connectivity on all of their smart home tech. But the Serena shades are pretty expensive, and that's not even their most expensive options. Well, Caseta shades are meant to be affordable, so they're $3.99 for any size under 48 inches. There are sizes above that do cost more, but yeah, under 48 inches, $3.99. I think that is a great price. You are limited, so you have only a few different color choice options, but it works with everything else the Lutron does, including Apple Home. You can use Pico remotes like I'm showing here, and it comes in multiple colors, so these are the different kind of colors you can do, the whites and grays, and then there's a roller version as well as a honeycomb version, just depending on the style that you want to go with in your house. Of course, while I was at CES, I had to stop by our sponsor's booth, ESR, which is highlighting some really cool products per usual, starting off with an updated version of their popular cases. Of course, you have MagSafe and all of that, but these new ones have glass covering over the camera control. It is super smooth and gives you just the same feeling as not even using a case at all, or even using Apple's cases. It is super reactive, smooth, responsive, like everything that you want a camera control cover to be. Plus, my favorite version of these ESR cases has that stash stand built in to the camera ring for some added extra features. I love that they've updated these in both the hybrid and their classic cases. Next up, they have their 3-in-1 charger. This is just always a hit. So if you haven't seen their latest version, it does include Cryo Boost. You can see the light actually as I remove the phone. That means that that fan has been going and it cools your phone, active cooling, to help keep it lower temperature to improve charging performance. And as I said, it is a 3-in-1 charger. So I've got my Apple Watch charge, fast charging on the back, my iPhone in standby mode, and then a set of AirPods there on the front on that small little keypad. The last product I was checking out is the Halo Lock Mag Mouse. This is entirely new. It has this little stand here that attaches to the top of your laptop magnetically so the mouse doesn't go anywhere. Has 4 directions of scrolling for the wheel, has an integrated USB-C cable in the bottom so you can charge it up anytime you need to, and it works with either an RF transmitter there over USB, or you can use Bluetooth, which is obviously the easiest way here on your Mac. Comes in 3 different colors from white, black to space gray. If you want to learn more about any of their new tech, you can find links for it down below in the description. Then I popped over to Govee. They have a lot of stuff here at CES, but I kind of picked out just the few things that I wanted to touch on most. There's a lot of really cool stuff, including these like gaming pixel art boards, but these don't work with Matter, so I wasn't really going to include them in the list, even though they have some cool features. But as far as the Matter and Apple Home enabled stuff that I want to talk about, we first have this new floor lamp. The top of it has this really cool aurora effect that projects upwards. There's all these different colors and it's actually moving. If you can see, it's actually moving that little aurora as it's being projected. You can see a little bit better with this color. My son loves the aurora projection, so this is just kind of a different form factor, and you don't have to have like a large box sitting on the counter. And of course, there's downward facing light that you can use as functional lighting. Then they also have these lamps. These two will be working with Matter, which will then include Apple Home. So the lights themselves, they are battery powered. The top of it, you can see, has a speaker. They partner with JBL for the sound here, and if you pick up 2 of them, you can pair them together for stereo sound. Then you have the smart lighting aspect, which can sync to the music, do all of that, but it's also multiple colors in there, so the top will not just be one color, it can be multiple colors and do all these different effects. They look great. Next up on the list is SwitchBot. This is something that even days later, I'm still not convinced is a real product, but it is. So this is the K20 Plus Pro, and essentially is the world's first multi-function robot that's going to be shipping into homes. So on the bottom is the robotic vacuum cleaner that can come out and do everything else that it normally would do, but then it has this attachment that goes above it. You can see all of these different options for it, just depending on your needs. So here we have one with an iPad or a tablet connected there, which could be used for, moving a screen around the house, whatever. This one has an air purifier, so you could monitor the air quality in different rooms, then send this to the room that needs the air purifier instead of getting multiple air purifiers. There's different ones, like with a little table on top here is clearly moving some water around the house, so you could have things like delivered to you, like running out to the kitchen, then have it bring it to you in the bedroom, anything like that. Of course, you're going to have to change these based on what you need to do with them, or have people put things on the table first because it can't pick things up on its own, but it's still really neat. So here we are at Experience Wonder. Now, they're known for Bird Buddy, which is what I had seen before, but at CES 2025, they are showing off 2 additional new products that are still a little bit of ways, but it is Petal and Wonder Blocks. They're both really neat, and they kind of can be used together, as you can see here. Those are the Wonder Blocks, and then Petal is that little camera that is perched above. It is a 4K camera, and there's 2 different lens options. There's a macro lens for getting up close, and there's a wide angle lens, so just again depends on what you want to look at, but you can watch things. There's all these different mounts, like this one wraps around the branch here. There's also another one that I'll show you here where it's like inside of a little stand, and that's actually a solar panel on the back, so it'll keep itself perpetually powered so you don't have to worry about it. So it's going to go ahead and monitor your garden. It can give you information about your plants. You can do these cool time lapses as you see here, but you can also just have have like information about, okay, your plant needs more water because of this, or this is what's wrong with it because it looks a little dry or a little sad. But really neat stuff you can do, or watching insects and animals such as bees here in the bee hotel that is part of Wonder Blocks. Wonder Blocks are these things that you can guys put together and put them in your yard that gives nature a place to live outside. And I think they're adorable and really cool. And of course, there is an AI aspect. This is called Nature Chat, and you can literally ask your garden questions. So it'll use AI to analyze the images and videos that it's seeing to give you information. So Xthings, this is amazing. This is the UltraLoq ultra wideband version. So it will support Matter, but it uses ultra wideband. This is the very first ultra wideband lock to come to market, which is a big deal. So ultra wideband is far more accurate for unlocking as you approach compared to things like Bluetooth and geofencing that are kind of hit or miss. Essentially, you can see the little distance right there at the bottom. It knows where your phone is down to centimeter level accuracy. And as soon as you approach the door, already unlocked, and then you can see the app react. It is so fast. It's just amazing. Now, this isn't using Alira or the Apple tech that has been talked about. This is something a little bit different, but it's still really exciting. If you want something a little more affordable, there is this one which is Matter enabled and has a fingerprint reader on the front, but it does lack the ultra wideband that this one has. So I think a lot of people are going to be excited for this when it ships. Continuing our parade of smart home devices from CES 2025, I stopped over here at Ecovacs, which has its new X8 Pro Omni. This is an upgraded version of their flagship vacuum cleaner, and there are a number of enhancements to talk about. Starting off with the roller mop there on the bottom. It is now a self-cleaning roller mop. I believe they say that one of the biggest concerns people have with robotic mops is moving dirty water around the home. So the idea here is, as it is mopping, it is also cleaning the mop, so it is preventing spreading dirty water around. They've also made some enhancements to the docking station as well, including this here, which is where you can put in your detergent. So you put in your detergent right into this little tub, then put this into the bottom of the robotic vacuum cleaner. It will then mix it with the clean water that's perched there at the top and put into your robot so you don't have to do it. Flic has always had some really cool buttons, and now they have the Flic Duo, and it's a lot more than just a smart button. There's actually a whole cavalcade of different commands that you can use with this single button. So it is still very small. It can be either wall mounted with that little metal magnetic plate, or you can hold it in your hand. What's cool is you can actually set up different commands, debating whether or not it is wall mounted or being handheld, so you can change what it does. Then there's different commands you can do between pressing, single pressing, double pressing. There's twisting, there's swiping, all these things, which I do admit could be a little overwhelming when you're trying to remember what everything does, but it also seems to work really well. So you can see here I'm just swiping left and right to go through the different colors for the lamps. Like I swiped there to the left and it went red, you go to the right and it turned green again. And as you rotate, it's really easy to adjust the brightness. So press the button, twist it to the left to dim it, turn it to the right to brighten it back up. Aqara has done so many HomeKit and Apple Home things, and they're doing the same thing here at CES 2025. Starting off with their new little environmental sensor, which is very nice. It is the Climate Sensor W100. So not only do you have different things like humidity and temperature there on the left, but there's 3 buttons on the right they can use to program to do different things, like in this case, opening and closing those smart blinds or some curtains, anything like that. But you can use them to run any commands you would like. They also have a new presence sensor. This thing is huge. So this is the FP300, I want to say. I hope I have that correct, but it is a new presence sensor. It uses a combination of millimeter wave and a PIR sensor to accurately tell when there's a person in the room and not just errant motion. Compared to their other presence sensors, this one is also battery powered. You're going to get 2 years on Thread and 3 years using Zigbee. They also took the opportunity to update their camera lineup for CES. There's a number of new ones, all the way from doorbells to PoE outdoor cameras. So let's go ahead and walk through them very briefly here. Starting off with the doorbell camera, this is the new G410. So they've added a new wider angle camera lens, and it can act as a smart home hub. Then there is the G5 Pro. So this is an outdoor camera that can also act as a hub, and it has both a PoE version, power over Ethernet, as well as a Wi-Fi version. This is also a new outdoor camera for them. This one's very nice, simple, just basic outdoor camera. This is one of a number of new switches that Aqara has. This is the touchscreen Switch S100 for the US market. There's a touchscreen there on the top as well as two physical buttons down below, so you can use them normal buttons to turn lights on and off for that single switch, but then you can program that touchscreen to do even more. Now, my favorite product that I saw from Aqara, the one that is hands down going to be amazing, is this right here, a Panel Hub S1 Plus for the US market. We have seen smart control panels from them before, but they're never for US, and this one is. So you place this in place of a light switch on the wall, and you can control the lights or the fan or whatever in that room, but then you can also assign it to all the other Matter accessories. I am very excited for this. It's almost like kind of like what Apple will hopefully be releasing. LifX has several new products, including a larger version of this Vista LED skylight, and then they have the Luna, which is this smaller little light down below. They are also using that multicolor technology, so you have really cool effects, almost like fire on that top one there, whereas it pulses to music, but it's a nice little affordable Matter-enabled light bulb, or light, I guess, appliance, but it can be mounted on the wall or on the counter. Apparently, everyone is doing affordable thermostats this year because we have the Smart Thermostat Essential from Ecobee. This is ditching a smaller screen than the other Ecobee thermostats. It also has plastic around the outside instead of the metal, but honestly, it still looks really nice and has a lot of the other features you'd expect from Ecobee, including the fact that it works with the sensors. They're not included in the box, but you can still use them with it to increase how eco-friendly it is in saving you money in your home. Then we have Roborock. Roborock, I cannot believe this is real. This is not a concept product. This is an actual product that will be shipping in May to June of this year. Before we get to the arm-laden robot, we should start off with the more approachable model. So these are still their two kind of flagships, which is the the Ceros 10 and the Ceros 10R. They are priced the same, so $1,600, and there's some small differences. So the 10R there on the left has the spinning mops versus the Ceros 10 on the right that has the Vibra Rise 4.0. You can also see some of the other differences with like the little mop and side brush that comes out on that 10R, and then on the right for the Ceros 10 that has the navigation system with the retract sense, so it pulls into the top. Because it's using kind of your traditional time of flight sensors for that one, so it does have to hide for low objects. The 10R is using a newer navigation system. They're not saying it's better, they're just saying that it is newer. The biggest recommendation I can give is if you have very polished floors that are shiny, get the 10 with that Vibra Rise mop. If you have anything else, laminate flooring, the 10R is probably a better choice. This is the one that everyone is excited for, though, the Ceros Z70 from Roborock. This will be shipping in May to June of this year, and yes, it has an articulated robot arm that will extend from the top to pick up small items around your house as it is trying to clean. So if you have a toddler that is, leaving their socks around or shoes or maybe even a flip-flop, it's able to pick those up, identify them, and put them to where it believes they should go, which you can again program in the app. So here in this demo area, it knows to pick up these socks and put them in this little bin on the side. And it is a little slow perhaps, but honestly, it worked really well. I was very impressed with how good it was able to actually see that item, pick it up fairly quickly, and then move it over to the bin. I watched this demo many times, and there was never a flaw in it. Again, just a little slow, but it's a robotic arm on a vacuum cleaner, and it's picking things up around your house and putting them away. So I still think that's incredibly impressive. So they're saying 22,000 pascals of suction. It has these spinning mops on the bottom. The mops can also come off on this as well as the other vacuums, so they can just leave them back in the docking station when they're not in use. Then I stopped over here at TP-Link, which has a new baby monitor out, which actually has a couple cool tricks that I want to show you. So first, it's actually not just one camera, there are two. So there's a telephoto, like a zoom lens to get close to the baby's face, as well as a wide-angle lens for showing like the entire inside of the crib. There's Apple Home support, which is amazing. TP-Link doesn't always support Apple Home, so I was very happy to see it here on this camera. There's multiple mounting options, including this one above the crib, or there's this little cradle that you can put it in. I think there's a few others as well. And then everything can go back to the TP-Link app or the Apple Home app, but it has these really smart alerts to it too, so it knows that it's looking at a baby, and then if it has something obstructing its face, it actually sends you an alert like right away, saying the baby's face or mouth was obscured and you might need to check on that. So I thought that was a really cool, smart feature to add, but yeah, I just love to see a baby monitor adding to Apple Home. Dreame is also out with some new vacuums, and they do have one that is a concept vacuum, but it was still pretty cool. So first is this one here that actually can climb ledges that are several centimeters tall. This is the Dreame X50 Ultra, and as it approaches a ledge, it scans it to see how tall it is and if it can make it up or not. Assuming that it can make it up that ledge, it's going to go ahead and approach and lift up there on the front. You can move the vacuum over top of that ledge. Once it gets all the way up to the edge of it, those legs are going to kick back and push the vacuum right up that ledge, which is really cool. It's quite impressive. They also have a retractable navigation system there at the top, so again, it's seeing this lower surface. It's going to go ahead and lower that down, then move under this table, your couch, anything like that, get the job done, clean, come back and raise up that navigation system again so it can continue cleaning the rest of your home. Now, this is their concept device that was just really cool, so I wanted to include it. They do have a robotic arm, which, yes, it is similar to the Roborock one that we just saw, but what makes it unique is that arm. Look how robust that looks. I believe the weight limit is higher on this one, and you can see how it has like those grips on the outside of the claw there. That's because it has different attachments. You can see that little bin in the back. There's various attachments that it can use. It'll go up to that bin, it'll scan that little QR code with a camera on the end of the arm, it'll insert the claw, expand the claw to hold that in place. So it'll know, like, hey, maybe this spot is too small, I need a little brush to get in there. It'll come over here, find the brush, put it on the arm, go clean that area, come back. I think it's really cool. Stay tuned to AppleInsider for the rest of our CES coverage.